welcome to Morning Ride on Delta Television, the People's Pride. My name is Ife Osita, welcoming you on behalf of board management and staff of Delta Broadcasting Service, transmitting live from the state's capital city, Asaba. Today is Thursday, the 30th of January. Yes, Gaston year 2025, and this happens to be the very last Thursday. So finally, tomorrow we saying goodbye to January and then welcome in February, the month we'll be looking forward to. So on behalf of the crew this morning, Nimbofa Ozigbo, who is our supervisory producer this morning, and of course Alex Afodo, the presentation director, Eunice, and Ucheje is the camera man on duty this morning. On behalf of the crew, my name is Ife Osita Olonwa. I know I said that before, but I'll say it again. I'm not alone. I have with me the beautiful, delectable Perpetua Igboba Abagadakere.
Yeah, you did. Good morning.
How are you, Perpetua?
I'm good. Good. How you doing?
I know you're good, but I want to feel that vibe. Yeah,
You're feeling
you know the way your hair is vibing. I really like your hair. I like the color. I love the curls. I love everything about the hair.
Thank you.
And
so
you know,
much.
we're looking forward to February because February is month of love.
Yeah, it is.
And so
the
it
month
will not
of
be
love.
a bad thing if you start loving me from now. Yes, now January don't finish
But you know
already.
I love you.
With your hair, just make it, just package it.
You know I
Eunice
love
is
you.
here, just give her to revamp and then package and wave it to me.
Okay,
Yes,
I'll think
it's
about
all
it.
good.
I'll
Yeah.
think about
Chika
it.
is also right here with us.
Yes, he is.
Our
he is.
ICT guy on duty. So
Exactly.
welcome on board. So, how's life been lately?
Life has been lifing, and I'll say God has been Godden, if there are words like that.
Oh my
Because
word.
we've seen a lot in the society, from increase in the price of goods and services, to increase in rent, to increase in fuel, to domestic violence, a whole
You
lot.
didn't mention telecom.
Telecom tariff increase in telecom tariff that is bringing a sort of disagreement between the NLC and
They said we are going
stakeholders.
on a nationwide protest.
A
soon.
nationwide protest. A whole lot has been happening, but notwithstanding all of this, the resilience of Nigerians has stood above all of them. We even saw cases of domestic violence where husbands were
A
beating
particular
wives. A
husband
particular
burnt.
husband burnt his wife, and she was shouting EJD, EJD. Unfortunately, I learned she didn't even make
She
it.
didn't make it
I even
out
saw one
alive.
that the husband cut his wife's hands, both hands, to tell you how bad it is.
Yeah.
A whole lot is happening, but notwithstanding, like I said earlier, life has been lifing, and of course, God will continue to be God himself.
Exactly. So before I go on to the next, relating it with what's happening. Now you mentioned the domestic violence and the violence that is, you see a man or a boyfriend killing the girlfriend for rituals and the likes. And it's really prevalent right now. It's like it's raving and it shouldn't be. And we're going to be having a guest. Hopefully she will come to talk to us about domestic violence. But this time around, let me check it. Sometimes we hear more of more women coming up to say, oh, I was battered by my husband. But men don't come out to talk. Because when they talk, people will body shame them or, tell them, can you imagine a woman beating you? So most times they are often even battered. And they experience domestic violence, but they don't say it. So our guest will be coming up very shortly to talk to us about, how men can start speaking out, why they should start speaking out, so that more people will be aware that such thing exists, and why people could also desist from domestic violence. If you know that marriage is no longer giving you the vibe or whatever you need, it's better to walk away. Yeah, it's better to separate for a time and then study. Is this worth continuing? If it's not, then
You move on.
instead of you to burn somebody alive. And what is that? Is that person a rabbit? Why would you pour fuel
And I read
on a woman being and lit it?
it's disheartening to know that a whole lot of people low-key supported the act of that man.
Because they said the woman was cheating, this, that.
Apart from that, someone said he were to be in the man's shoes, that maybe he would have done worse. I think that it's good that things like this happen so that we know the kind of human beings we share the same social media space with. Because I had to start like blocking some people I didn't know I was already friends with, because I don't just evaluate you by your post, I evaluate you also by your opinions
and your comments.
because opinions and comments tells you that there are lots of people that need therapy, I'm sorry to say.
True.
But there are lots of people that they need, some mind re-evaluation. They need a total, like, these people are not 2 seconds away from being traumatized at all, most especially childhood trauma. Like, they have a very, very toxic view about life. Even when someone was saying there is nothing that warrants you burning is too far, raising your hand on your spouse, either as a man or as a woman. If you find out that that marriage is not serving you, walk away, or temporarily be separated. Seek help, both of you, and find ways to mitigate your problems and find a way to come back. But
that's right.
Some people were saying, no, she was cheating, that's what you get for cheating. I'm like, no,
who gives you right to take another life?
Take another life.
You didn't create one.
Honestly, it's really disheartening to see that some people did not low-key find it wrong what he did. It's really, really disheartening. It goes a long way to tell you that it goes a long way to tell you that you should be careful with your association with some people. Don't just take what they say like it's just words. Sacred scripture says, out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaks.
Time to call, and then these days I call when it's very important.
Exactly.
Extremely important. In fact, I like to even do call, like WhatsApp call, more now. So everybody should just get on that, because I want my data to serve me 2 purposes. Like, I'll surf the net, and then I can make calls with it. Yeah. Right. So everybody should just get a good phone that enables, that is WhatsApp enabled, because that's where we're getting to.
Exactly.
All right. So National Escape Day beckons to people on January 30th, which is today, to move away from their daily lives and invest some time in rejuvenating themselves. Now, the day literally encourages you and I to run away from your daily existential problems and simply live in the moment. Now, while it is something that people should do daily, the pressing issues of life push them into putting it off to another day. Now, National Escape Day tells you to live in the now and to live fully.
Very important.
The pressure in this world now has doubled, if not tripled. You do 9 to 5, for instance, and after you close at 5, because you want to meet up, you want to belong, you want to also make things happen for yourself. You're doing another side hustle from one to another. It's either you're into real estate, you're posting this, you're that, you're doing one business or the other. They are all okay. But then, do you have a time that you say, okay, this is my time for me to rejuvenate, to take care of me? Because you see somebody this morning, and then the next day the person falls and dies, and say, it's village people. Village people can be there, right?
Yes.
I can rule that out. But then sometimes we are too pressured. We pressure ourselves. We do everything but rest.
Exactly.
We seldom rest.
And if I get your drift, to even buttress it more, there's something that we low-key do not have in us. The people that even have it in the society, I'm not even sure they are up to like 5%. The spirit of contentment. All this struggle we struggle for is to afford basically the comfortability and the luxuries of life, which, if you ask me, is awesome, is beautiful. But if you find out at the moment that you cannot afford it with the time limit you have set for yourself, be content where you are in the moment.
Okay. That's
with what you have, bearing in mind that if you take a stock 10 years back, the 10 years ago you will not be able to stand with the present you. How grateful are you for that feat alone? So this is the question we ought to ask ourselves. We put pressure, so much pressure on ourselves. I want to get that hair. My birthday is in October, is in September.
That's me.
If I don't get that hair, there's going to be problem. Mountains will fall and valleys will rise. I want to get that phone. I want to get that car. They are all good. They are all beautiful. But if you find out that it is coming in contact with your peace, it is struggling with your peace and your sanity, give it a break. Give it a break. Nobody will take care of you as much as you will take care of you. And a friend of mine said it is better for you to live in a state of taking care of yourself, nurturing your health with the little you have, than start curing a sickness or a disease that arises as a result of stress. So the question is, apart from the work stress, apart from family stress, pressure, which are all nothing to, how well are you looking after yourself out of all of these? Do you make out 30 minutes in a day to just lie down, keep your phone one side and lie down? I'm not saying sleep, no. Lie down, rest your head.
Rest your head.
Rest your head. You may not want to sleep at the moment, but how well, just rest at that moment. How well do you just take out time to just go out to a place and just have smoothie and just relax and just appreciate nature?
Okay, smoothie. Well,
Smoothie, yes, smoothie.
they are pricey now.
They are pricey, but at least they are affordable to an extent.
It's better to get a smoothie that is pricey than getting drugs.
Exactly.
Drugs are not even cheap anymore.
Thank you. It's better to get a smoothie that is pricey than getting drugs. Common cough syrup I got weeks ago. Last year I got it like 3,000 plus. This year I got it almost 6,000.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
So it's better to get smoothies that are pricey than go for drugs that are pricey.
More expensive.
Okay,
sometimes.
the cheapest of them, you may not have money to register for a gym to keep fit. But when last did you take a walk in your immediate environment? Bearing in mind that 10 to 15 minutes of walk can just help you burn little calories and keep you fit.
That's right.
These are the little things that we take for granted, but when done over a period of time, it sums up and help our health.
That's right.
Escaping from reality. Yes, it's good to escape from reality, but while escaping from that reality, the question is, what are you doing with your time?
What are you doing with your time?
So these are the questions we need to ask.
Okay.
Take a break and look after yourself.
Yeah. So a digital detox. Yes, since we are surrounded by our gadgets,
stay away from phones,
24/7, which keeps us connected throughout the day. Anyway, it would be a good idea to disconnect from the internet for a day, just like you said. Switch off your smartphone, your laptop, your iPad, and even your Wi-Fi, your data. Then shun the internet for a day and simply smell the roses in the garden. That's if you have one. Or just read a book.
Appreciate nature.
Appreciate nature. Go on, do something. Do something that is different. Not every time we're carrying. We're so addicted to the phone now.
Exactly.
Number 2 thing you need to do, for today is National Escape Day, is to pamper yourself. So any day you choose, any day from today, just choose a day and say, today is my National Escape Day.
Exactly.
Yes, even though we're observing it today, just choose any day from now to high time you treated the king or queen in you to all the regality you deserve. So if you can do nothing else, just luxuriate in the bathtub and let your cares soak away. Yes.
Very important.
I'm going to talk about the pedicure, but let me go on. Number 3 thing you need to do is do nothing. That's
exactly.
it. Do nothing. Yes, you read it right. Just do whatever comes to your mind at that time. Living in the moment is a happy way to loosen up yourself. Okay? You'll be amazed at the amount of peace of mind you find when you have nowhere to go or nothing to do. Yes. So I was talking about pedicure. It's very good to do pedicure. But please, caveat. If you must do a pedicure, go and meet a professional.
Yes, please.
Don't go for quacks.
If you do know
I
that,
can do it for 2K.
I saw a video yesterday.
Is that Nigeria has the world's second highest number of people living with HIV.
We do.
Yeah, so if you don't treat HIV, almost everyone affected will develop AIDS.
True.
So what it means is that before now we used to get that PEPFAR from
Free.
the US free.
Free.
So they will just give us give to Nigeria, and then you go to hospital. That's why you see that hospitals will say treatment of HIV and AIDS is free. They'll give you that, what's that drug called? Retrovirus drugs. So it's usually given free from hospitals, designated hospitals. But now that the thing is no longer going to come, it means that to treat HIV, they need art drugs, and these drugs have become so effective that the HIV positive person can no longer transmit the virus if the level of the virus is suppressed. But then these drugs are extremely expensive.
Very expensive.
So a lot of drugs available are donated now. So now that donation has been cut,
properly sterilized, please.
yes,
Don't share things like razor blades and all those intimate materials with people, because you don't know their HIV status. Before, if you don't ask about people's HIV status, I think now is the time to be vocal, you know,
Right.
about it. Yes, for your safety, you've got to be vocal. You've got to ask questions. You don't just have intimate affairs.
Daily Independent, The Guardian, we have The Punch, Daily Trust as well. Okay, so let's begin with the Nation newspaper this morning. The Nation newspaper, we have here, GHL, we floored First Bank in court. Fracas at PDP national headquarters. I saw that video, and you know, it's not really an eyesore if you ask me. All right, we have here injunctive orders against Obiagbene. GHL orders say FBN lawyers. And that's basically what's up with the Nation newspaper this morning. Picture here, we have a distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio and Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Okay, we're moving away from the Guardian, or rather the Nation newspaper.
Okay, taking a quick look at the Guardian newspaper, the screaming headline says, Neglected Tropical Diseases Day. Spike in ailment pushes Nigerians' care funding gap to 8.6 trillion naira. NLC to protest against 50% telecoms hike on Tuesday. Kidnappers killed in gun duel with police along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. NCAA suspends Max Air over Kano near crash incident. And lastly, security, economic concern as ECOWAS confirms Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali's withdrawal.
All right, let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper this morning. How federal government botched prosecution of 888 terror suspect. Babadoko. Right after that story, poor investigation, evidence collection, witness intimidation, secret trial, hampering conviction, limited forensic technological capabilities an obstacle as lawyers raise concerns over trial and conviction. We did our job. Courts decide who's convicted or acquitted, says AGF's office. Away from that major headline there on page 14, we also have here, I will work closely with Pandef Oba Benin pledges. Page 30 captures that story. PDP National Secretary position, board set up panel to meet claimant. Federal government secures $1.1 billion AFDB loan to power 5 million people by 2026. This is from Tinubu. Alleged electoral fraud, court reveals bail, issues arrest warrant on Uyo professor. Max Air suspends operations for 3 months. And we have here, lenders experience high loan default rate in Q4 24. Anambra's security outfit raided Lilu Forest, kills 6 gunmen. NFC holds nationwide telecom tariff hike protest Tuesday. ECOWAS pledges to keep door open. That's a former exit of Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. All right, that's it on the Vanguard.
All right, moving on to our next meeting as violence mars bot gathering. Anyanwu's aide forcefully ejects Ude Okoye. The Magon blames leaders for crisis. Open letter of appreciation to the National Assembly for smooth passage of the Bill of 2025 West Local Government Area in Delta State. All right, still looking at the Daily Trust newspaper. It says, attention, distinguished principal officers and members of the 10th Assembly, past leaders and members of the National Assembly, especially those from the South, South, and Delta State. I think this is a continuation of the story of the headline. But that's it on the headlines coming from Daily Trust newspapers.
All right, so moving away from there now to the Daily Times newspaper this morning. And we have here on the Daily Times, thugs invade PDP National Secretariat over Anyanwu Ude Okoye fight. And we have here Lagos on the front strip. Lagos 2027 diaspora group plans mega endorsement rally for Sheyi Tinubu. And we have here the bottom strip. Plateau renews call for ranching to end farmer headers conflict. FCT IRS 6 EFCC partnership to enhance tax compliance. And Tunji Ojo advocates technical skill acquisition in tertiary institutions. NLC to embark on nationwide protest over 50% telecom tariff hike. And we have instant transfers hit 1.7 naira as bank accounts surge to 311.6 million naira. All right, away from the Daily Times.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the Punch newspaper with the major story here that says injunctive orders against Obaibena, GHL, and others stay. This is coming from the First Bank Council. PDP governors plan summit as leaders exchange blows at BOT meeting. Party restrains warring factional secretaries from performing duties. APC mocks opposition party. Tariff hike. Labour plans telecoms boycott February 4 protests. Still looking at the Punch newspaper, it says expulsion. NMPP woos Aremeshola. APC disowns Oyetola's governorship posters. Max Air. Federal government suspends airlines plan to audit others. JAM suspends law admission in Kwasu, Redeemers Varsity, and 6 others. Police kill 5 kidnappers, recovers 5.2 million naira in Ogun State. And lastly, Gani Adams fought Sultan's backing for Sharia in Southwest.
Okay, let's also look at another newspaper headline this morning, and that will be Daily Independent newspaper. We have here major headline here: telecom tariff hike, Labour to stage nationwide protest February 4. Cautions federal government NCC NASH to halt implementation. Right to have grounded operations. NCAA needs change of approach expert. And APC chieftain confirms Areboshola's explosion over anti-party activities. President Tinubu embodies a sense of desperation, says Atiku. All right, that's it on the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Okay, I think that's all that we have for you this morning. Okay, so we're back now, and let's talk about this NLC planned protests coming up February 4.
Yes, that's next week Tuesday.
Next week Tuesday, and I'm just going to read it so we know what we're expecting to see that day. All right, so threatens action against government, employers, and they also mention NCC and then National Assembly, employers over minimum wage. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) will on Tuesday, February 4, 2025, embark on a nationwide protest against the planned 50% increase in the telecommunication tariff. In a communique signed by Congress President Joe Ajaero at the end of its National Administrative Council meeting in Abuja yesterday, NLC said the one-day rally and protest will take place in the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). It also threatened decisive action against state government and other employers of labor who failed to implement the 70% national minimum wage and the corresponding salary adjustment by the end of this first quarter. Of the protest, it added, all NLC affiliates and state councils are directed to begin full mobilization preparation for February 4, 2025 nationwide protest rally. Willing civil society allies are also encouraged to join the preparation. Congress calls on all Nigerian workers, the informal sector, and the general public to stand in solidarity against this unjust policy. So I'm reading to see if there's a place that they said, they should danto, So the thing is, we need to hear from them. Maybe from now on, statements will be coming out. Let's know the modalities because, yes, we're coming out for protest, and it means that you're going to come to work and then you go for protest and you come back to work as well. So we need to know the modalities. We need to know what we're expecting to do as workers, because all the points raised are valid. Everything you mentioned here are valid. Since this present administration began from the one when they were, when our president had his inaugural speech, he said something remarkable, and that's been happening since then. That subsidy experiencing at the moment, find out the challenges and find out ways that you need to salvage and you need to ameliorate their plight, other than, heaping it on us every time it's from one hike to another. Somebody who, so to go anywhere now, if you have a car in this very as quick as possible.
The masses
All right.
are not finding it funny.
We're not funny. As you can see, I'm not smiling. We'll take a quick break right now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. right, and welcome back to the studio. And we did told you that we're expecting a guest this morning, and we'll be talking about domestic violence by women this time around, by women against men. And we often hear stories from the women complaining. One happened recently when a woman, about a woman that the husband poured fuel on, and it trended, still trending because the woman passed and now the man has been sentenced. Okay, so, but then we don't get to know or hear the part where women battered or violated their spouses, and sometimes often covered. So we don't know why. And now we want to find out why that is happening and the way forward about it. Okay, joining us on that conversation, we have our regular, yes, our mama in the building right now. We have Honorable Bridget Anyafu. Yes, she is. We're talking about domestic violence, but this time around, we're looking away from the women angle. Let's focus on the men now, because most of them complain off camera that their wives are beating them, and then sometimes funny. How can your wife be beating you? I'm supposed to be a man up. So, tell us about domestic violence against men in the society. How prevalent is that?
Well, even from childhood, the boy child is also, there's issue of violence around the boy child growing up. And because of the fact that we all believe that every male, whether young or old, is naturally empowered by God. So there are strong being a research and so many things that have happened. We found that so many boy children have been abused at different times. And many of them grew up with that, because you know that whatever you do to a child remains in the subconsciousness, so that as they are growing, they still remember what happened to them when they are children. But you also find out that right now, parenting has failed. We have said this many times. And because of the fact that many families depend on house help, they depend on steward. In fact, everything they do in their different homes is done, all activities, domestic activities are carried out by people that they have hired. And the parents are ever busy with their work. Mothers are not at home. Fathers are not at home. So they left the children in the hands of even so many of them who themselves were not trained. So you find that like the girl child growing up in the parents' home cannot cook. And that's why we have so many eatery shops. People now cook, men find solace in going to eat outside. All those things are violence against men, where the man cannot come home and see food and eat. Where you know that so many of us women, we have our long nails. So with your long nails, you can't cook at home. you can't wash bitter leaf. You cannot pound yam. But we're Africans, because these are how we were brought up. And you cannot say that position has brought you to a level where you cannot. What do you have? You have serious domestic violence in different homes, where young ladies marry. They also depend, they must get somebody to be cooking in the home. The steward should not cook all the time. There must be a time where the woman in the home must cook. And sometimes there are men, like I have 5 brothers, and we were brought up cooking, and they know how to cook. So if you have married somebody like any of my brothers and you can't cook, you know, when they start cooking, you have lost your home.
Wow.
When they start cooking, they are in charge of their home. They're in charge of what they eat. You have lost your home.
True.
So that's why many people have lost their different homes, because they don't cook. They have no time. It is the house help that will make the bed where you and your husband have slept. It's the house help that will clean the room where your husband sleep. Is the house help that will do everything, wash even your children's plates, and all man complaints. And you have a nagging woman. And you know, another one, this violence, when women nag in the home. Men, there are certain things men don't tolerate. Certain things you must respect the man, no matter how. Even if you are our auntie Okonjo Iweala, you must respect, and I'm sure she does that. If your husband feels that you're not respecting, no matter how, even if your husband is tattered, even if he doesn't have money, the important thing that there was an agreement to enter into that marriage contract.
Wow.
You must respect him. So when that man finds out that you don't respect him, he will continue to complain. And then on the other hand, the woman will continue to nag. When you do all that, the home is already broken. Because the children, what you do in presence of children are the only things they learn. That's why I said, when you cook as a mother, the children learn to cook. So when every day you are quarreling with Oga, there's no mouth to talk in the home. You cannot control the children, and lots of things happened. And when you do that at some times, the man wants to beat, the man wants to do so many things. But in places where it is the woman who is beaten now, so many things must have happened. Either the man is not providing as much as he is supposed to provide, or that the woman is too powerful. There are some women who are very powerful even if they don't have money. And then either the wife is from a very rich home. By the time the man talks, the family of the woman will come to the house and even take the woman away. But all this, the law, Delta State as a state, and the House of Assembly have also put all these things, considered these things, and find that it is important to protect every family, and every male and every female, no matter what happens, to put an end to domestic violence and all sorts of violence, with all forms of violence. That was why they came up with the VAB law.
Right.
The VAB law in 2020. By October 2020, the VAB law had been assented to and gazetted. So there's a law in Delta State, and that VAB law applies to the male and the female. So that when you as a woman beats your husband and does all sorts of things to the man, you go to, if the matter is taken to court, you go to court, and when you're liable, you'll be, of course, you know where to visit the correctional
So what if it's
center.
an emotional abuse? That can be measured.
Emotional abuse is, yeah, of course, emotional abuse. Emotional abuse is part of the law. I think it's section, that's plenty of the VAB law. Emotional abuse, when you commit such an offense, is when you are liable on conviction, I think about 3 years imprisonment.
Oh, really?
Yes, about 3 years, 2 or 3 years imprisonment.
So, look, it's
When you forcefully separate your husband or your spouse, the key word is spouse, from a kind of taking away the liberty of that person is also an offense. Yes. Yes, and it's about 2 years imprisonment or 200,000 or 300,000 fine. But both of them can go together. So there's a law that will checkmate all this. It is just that when the people know, they'll be able to attend to it. But the state government, through the House of Assembly, have provided remedy for all this, so that when these things happen, there are certain things that will be done, and at the end of the day, you bring sanity to every home in Delta State.
beautiful. So, still looking at the aspect of abuse,
Yeah.
are there any specific challenges when it comes to recognizing and addressing domestic violence against men in the society? Because there are men, most of them would like to shield it, until they talk, and they don't just talk about it.
He's in control.
Yes.
So when the man loses control, he first will enter back to his shell, because he's very reserved. I will not use the word proud. He doesn't want to let you know that he's going through hell. He will not even tell his own blood brothers, siblings. Before the man will even confide to somebody, that person must be very close. And before he would do that, if he has been going through that thing for 10 years, he will tell that person, maybe by tomorrow, by 5 o'clock, they'll come and take the load of the woman pack out of the house. Because you know that when a man takes his time to say this, say so many things that at the end, only the man will be upset. But when you put us on the round table and listen to both of us, you find out that both of us have faults.
True.
And many times over, the fault is on our own side.
More.
Yes. So that's the truth. You know, you don't need to paint things if we must keep our homes in order. So the man has capacity to tolerate, but the women, you know, God has given us shock observers to do so many things.
Yeah.
There's just some few things that make you go crazy. And I'm sure two of you understand.
You do.
Okay.
So when I said to her, if you know that, just go back and start begging. Begging in the night. By the time the owners came in the morning to come and carry the load, the man came and said that it wasn't really my mind to let her go.